Hey, good morning, everybody. Hope you're in for a great day today. We're talking about Jesus, the Good Shepherd. This is one of the I ams in the book of John. There are 7 of them. And Jesus declares unequivocally, He is the Good Shepherd. And it's a beautiful statement of what Jesus is saying to us today in the context of our own lostness. Now, Jesus asked an important question in Matthew chapter 16, where he says to the disciples, who do people say that I am? And he's obviously saying to you, what you say about who I am is a very critical question that demands a very critically thought out answer. Who do you say Jesus is? And Peter declared amongst the other disciples the truth. He says, Jesus, I know that you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus was blown away by this incredibly good answer. And he said to Peter, man, that's the answer upon which I will build my church. I am the Christ, the Son of the living God. But it's the question that needs to be considered. Jesus asked the question, who do you say that I am? And therefore, the question that needs to be answered is a very critical question. What you say about who you think Jesus is desperately a good question to be answered. So Jesus kind of answers his own question in the book of John, where he tells you who he is. He's not trying to hide this. He tells you who he is. And amongst the 7 things, he says, in the midst of your lostness, I am the Good Shepherd. Now, it's a beautiful thought, this, because not only is he suggesting to you that he is the Good Shepherd, but he suggests, amongst other things, that this is an exclusive position that he's claiming. He says, I am the Good Shepherd. I'm not a good shepherd. We all know that David, the king, was a good shepherd. We know that. But Jesus was not a good shepherd. He was the Good Shepherd. And over the course of the next week or two, we're going to be looking at what the goodness of this shepherd looks like. But I cannot help but emphasize to you folk today, there is no shepherd like him. He stands alone. He is unequivocally the only good shepherd. There are lots of other shepherds. And Jesus refers to the Pharisees as wanting to be shepherds, but they certainly weren't good ones. Listen to some of the names that Jesus calls these supposed shepherds of the religious world. He calls them in Matthew chapter 23. He calls these religious shepherds of the day a bunch of hypocrites. He calls them blind guides. We've got a whole bunch of those people around here as well. He calls them blind fools. He's not missing his word. I like the description of, he calls them a bunch of whitewashed sepulchres. That means they look good on the outside, but inside they're rotting flesh and old bones. He calls them snakes. He calls them a brood of vipers. He talks about them as being false, abusive, self-centered shepherds. And in one word, he encapsulates everything about these false shepherds. He calls them hirelings. Now, Jesus said a hireling is somebody who does something for a job. And these people are doing this so that they can make a good income, rip people off, make more money than they should be earning. He calls them hirelings. I'm so nervous about that terminology because as I look around, and I don't want to sound judgmental, but I want to suggest that maybe the critics of the world might have a point when they talk about the church as being a bunch of people who are hypocrites, those who lead in church, those who are leaders of the church. Many of us, and I say this with great sadness, would fall into that category. Jesus said, I'm not a hireling. I'm not doing this because I get something out of it. I'm doing this because I am an owner, and he owns his sheep. He says, you know I own the sheep because I'm willing to lay down my life for my sheep. A hireling's never going to do that. A hireling's going to take your money and run, baby. But Jesus says, I will never do that. I love you so much. I will be the door of the sheep. If people want to get to you, they've got to go past me. I will stand between you and Satan. I'll stand between you and the world. I will protect you because I'm not a hireling. I am the Good Shepherd. Now that needs for us to ponder for a few moments about what this Good Shepherd is like. When we understand the wonder of his love for us, his commitment to us. And here we have Jesus, the Messiah, the Son of God, God himself, God Almighty, the creator of this world, saying, I count it a high privilege to be your good shepherd. I don't know about you, but my mind is blown at the thought of that. I can't get to grips with the fact that God would even pay me the time of day, never mind being a good shepherd to me. And so we wonder today at the incredible nature of God's love for us, the incredible nature of his kindness toward us, that he would love us that much, that we as sheep who have gone astray, according to the words of Isaiah, could be loved by our good shepherd to that extent. Think about that today and go and have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.